Hello, this is Sonja from My Happy Space. Welcome back at my channel. Today I'm going to do something fun, a little bit different. I'm going to talk about the 10 basic Bible journaling supplies I have and I can't live without, and my 10 favorite Bible journaling supplies I have. I might make another series or another YouTube video another time, maybe my least favorite Bible journaling supplies or the Bible journaling supplies I use the least. But today we're going to concentrate on the things I can't live without. So without further ado, I'm going to go through them and tell you what I can't live without. And I'd love you to pop in the description box to me if you agree with me, or if you can add something or say, that's fine, I can live without that. I definitely don't need this. So that'd be very nice for me to hear from you. Number one, obviously, is my Bible. I cannot do Bible journaling without my Bible. I know there's many other ways you can do Bible journaling, like a notebooks, TNs, you can do 5 text cards, but obviously I keep it very basic. These is the things, my go-to things, which I use almost every time when I do Bible journaling. I use my Bible. I've got 2 Bibles I'm working in at the moment. This is my ESV Crossway Interleaf Bible. Lots of people often ask me what Bible you're using, and often I take it for granted that everybody knows what Bible I'm using, but obviously there's always newbies to Bible journaling. And I remember when I started doing Bible journaling and I watched these YouTube videos, all these jargon and slang and everything people are using, it was all just to me very difficult to understand. I didn't really know what they're talking about. Sorry if I don't always are very clear of what I use, but as I said, this is the ESV version, the Crossway, and it's the Interleaf version. I will link it down below, a link, so you can at least see how it looks like. It will probably be a link that takes you to South African website or South African shop to buy, but at least you can click on it, see how it exactly look, write down the name of it if you're interested in getting it. Now, Interleaf Bible is just on the one side there is writing, and the other side there is a blank piece of paper, so you can use it almost as a scrapbook page, and you can do your entry in here. So I love my Interleaf Bible. This is really my favorite, it is definitely my favorite Bible. And the only thing I think I would have changed from this Bible is the fact that it's got yellow pages. I like to work on a white page, but it's not a deal breaker. But if I could change one thing in this Bible, I wish it was rather a white background instead of a cream background. The other Bible I'm using at the moment is my illustrated Bible, Psalms and Proverbs. Now you get a full Bible for this, so you guys need to let me know, is it worthwhile for me to get the full illustrated Bible? Because here in South Africa, buying it here, it will be a big investment for me. And I'm so worried because I enjoy my Interleaf Bible so much that I'm not going to make use of my illustrated Bible as much as my Interleaf Bible. But what I like, obviously, is the fact that it's coil bind, so you can bring a little bit more dimension in your Bible. And I think this page is a little bit more white than cream. And obviously you've got loads of space also here. I do enjoy working in this Bible, in my Psalms and Proverbs Bible, but I tend to almost work more in my Interleaf Bible. So yes, I'd love to know from you guys, is it worth getting the illustrated Faith Bible or the illustrated Bible? As I said, it will be a big investment for me, but yeah, if I really feel I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to work in it, I will do it. So yeah, that was now a long story about my Bibles, but this is my first basic I need when I do Bible journaling. My second basic, I'm going to put here a picture up on the screen because it is my printer. Now, I live in South Africa, as you know, and I need to do everything digitally. So I'm so thankful that I can get printables digitally. I'm so thankful for each shop that provides devotionals digitally or printables digitally, because it opens a whole world. It opens a world to me that I can take part in these things. So my printer, it's an Epson printer. I will also link it down here below so you can have a look at it. I can really recommend it. I've had very good service from it. It is economically the ink. It's an inkjet printer. I really recommend that. I'm not 100% sure what will be better, inkjet or laser print. I think lots of people have their preferences. But yeah, inkjet printer is definitely very economically, and it's good quality printing for me. So I'm very happy with my printer. So I cannot do anything without my printer. Bible journaling, there's not many companies here in South Africa that you can get a physical Bible journaling kit. So everything is digitally. Now, the third thing I definitely need, because I'm doing everything digitally, is good quality cardstock. I'm always having cardstock in my stash. I really get anxiety if I run out of cardstock, because I can do Bible journaling if I've got my printer and my cardstock, because I can just print out printables and I can stick it in my Bible. So I prefer, this is 2 brands here in South Africa. It might not mean anything for the American and the European watches, but this is a Marlin project board and butterfly. I always print out my ephemera on 160 GSM cardstock. And sometimes if I do a whole page of pattern paper, I will do it on normal copy paper, because I don't want to thicken up my Bible too much. So then it's just one thin piece of paper in the background in my Bible. But then the printables I stuck on my page is always good quality 160 GSM. My printer doesn't seem to want to take 200 GSM. It doesn't want to feed through the printer. So that's one thing, maybe if you looking to use very thick cardstock, not to get my printer. But I think for 180 and 160 and obviously less than that, it's 100% fine. I prefer, as I said, I prefer the Marlin one. The butterfly one is cheaper, but it's very, compared to these two, this one is more brilliant white and this one is more sort of a dull gray white for me. And also when I put it through my paper trimmer, it fray often if I put a line through it. So this one is just better to me. I usually print on this, but this, if I don't need it good quality, it's maybe a framer I can cut out. I don't have to make lines in it. I sometimes use this. As I said, very basic. The next thing is glues. Now, different type of glues I use it during different circumstances. Obviously, glue stick is just a nice basic to have in your stash. It lasts long. I won't say your things will stick forever in your Bible, but I'm not too fussed about that it stick forever in my Bible. I enjoy my Bible journaling. Hopefully, my family will enjoy it one day also. But if it ends up somewhere in a corner packed in a box, it doesn't really matter. So if it doesn't last for a lifetime, it doesn't bother me. So if you want to use glue stick, that's fine. But obviously glue stick, you can't go into the finer sort of edges of a printable. And that's why I've been recently starting to using this bottle. This bottle has actually just normal craft glue in it. And it's just nice to get to the edges of printables. So I prefer, this is my go-to method at the moment. Then obviously these 2 glues are very good quality glues. It's the Tombow Mono Liquid Glue and the Tombow Liquid Glue. The one is white glue and the one is clear glue. They're very good quality, but I find because their points is not very small, sometimes if I go into these corners, it spills over and then my Bible gets very sticky. It sticks together. So I might use this if I do some scrapbooking, or I want really something very good to be sort of put down and need to stay there, and I will use this. The other thing I like to use is double-sided tape. If I like to make clusters, sometimes I make little clusters, put things on top of each other, printables on top of each other. So then I maybe just want a piece of double-sided tape there to put it down there so I can tuck things underneath it, or it's a big cluster, then I like to use my double-sided tape. So yeah, I would think a good glue or different type of glues is definitely one of my basics, which I use every day in Bible journaling. The next basic is this very exciting wet wipes. I cannot do Bible journaling without wet wipes. I'm constantly cleaning my surface, cleaning my hands, cleaning brushes or stamps or whatever I need to clean. I use baby wipes with. So yeah, it's just a go-to. It's not very exciting. I would recommend any Bible journaler to get some wet wipes, and any crafter for that matter to have in your craft room. The next thing I really use on a daily basis is my Micron pens. It is a pen that doesn't, it's water resistant. With other words, you can draw something in your Bible and you can color it in with watercoloring or put water on it and it won't bleed. So I do all my journaling in there. It's just a good quality pen, and it has got different points, 04, 05, 01. So whatever you want to do, you can have it. I prefer the 05 and 04 point. There's not much difference between the two of them. The 05 is actually my go-to when I do writing because it's just good solid and you can actually see the writing. So this is another basics which I can personally not live without and which I use on a daily basis. Every time I do Bible journaling, I reach for this. The next thing I reach for every time I do Bible journaling is my Versified black ink. It's well used. It's just a good quality ink, which is if you want to stamp detailed things, it's good enough. It's my go-to with my date stamp. If I want to yet again do some watercoloring or put water on my page while I did inking, I will go for my Stays on ink, which is it stays permanently when it's dry, so you can do watercoloring over it or put water on it. So for this, just basic stamping, date stamp, if I just want to stamp a word or something in my Bible, then this is what I go for. So this is something I use on a daily basis. Every time I do Bible journaling, I use this. Then also very exciting equipment is my Tsquare ruler. I had quite a journey finding this Tsquare ruler. I couldn't find it anywhere in South Africa, but luckily my in-laws live in England. I asked her to order it for me and she brought it for me when she came to South Africa about 2 years ago on holiday. So I was very, very thankful for that. Now the reason why this is so useful is if you want to do some journaling in your Bible, like for instance here, and you want to put lines down, then it's so nice just to put your Tsquare ruler down there, so it lines up there, and then you can do underlining without having to measure and make sure it's all the same width. This is just a nice way to do it, the easy way, so I use my Tsquare ruler quite a lot. Often you don't see me use it because I often do it off camera. I tend to do my journaling off camera so you don't have to look and see how I'm doing it, but that's something really I use on a daily basis. Good pair of scissors is as good, especially fussy cutting scissors, because it allows me with this fine point to get to all the small details of the fussy cutting, because obviously I do everything digitally. As I said, I don't have a circuit or Cricut machine or whatever you call it. I'm clueless when it comes to things like that. To me, they are all the same. So I don't have that. So I need to cut all my things by myself. I don't mind fussy cutting. I just listen to a nice sermon or watch something on TV and I do my fussy cutting. It doesn't bother me at all. So, and this is just a longer scissors, which is nice if you want to cut that long lines. If you've got a journaling card to cut out, obviously you just want a longer scissors to make that one long line than trying to struggle with the small little scissors. And it's slightly bended also, not bended, but it's very pointy for that fussy cutting. So yeah, a good quality scissors. Now another basic which I really use on a daily basis or almost every day is my paper trimmer. It's okay quality. It's a Couture Creation one, which as you can see it's quite well used. Yeah, it's okay. I won't say it's the best quality, but it does the job, and really it's just very useful to have, especially if you have to cut out lines which is straight. So that's really something I really want in my Bible journaling toolkit, and which I use almost on a daily basis too. Okay, now the fun bit. My most favorite thing is printables. You might have guessed it, but this is my absolute favorite thing. I love printables, and I'm just showing you this is my system. I'm keeping my printables in. I have my dividers for the different companies and artists, and then I've got these clear pockets, which I put it in. When I'm finished with a printable, I just put the leftovers there, and this comes very useful when I do my sermon notes. Then I think about what the sermon is. If I can have a printable that goes more or less with the sermon, I use it, or I just use flowers. So yeah, this is my first absolutely favorite thing, which I must have for Bible journaling, is printables from any company. Obviously, I love illustrated because yet again they've got the printed brace shop, so that's very nice. I love Ella Root. I'm very thankful for her here in South Africa. And yeah, any company who has digitals, I love it. Print it out. It's amazing that I can print it up, put it in here, and I can be part of a community which is thousands of miles from me, but I can feel I'm also part of this community. The second thing you might have guessed is doilies. I love doilies. Some people might say this is my signature look, is doilies. I love to put doilies behind sort of pieces. Like for instance, I just think this looks so much better if you put it on your Bible with a doily underneath. It frames it, it gives it purpose. It's a cheap way, it's an easy way of doing Bible journaling or scrapbooking for that matter. And yeah, all the lovely different colors. I usually pick it up from actually party shops, like catering party shops. I pick it up from dollar stores or like very cheap stores here in South Africa. So yeah, I love all the colors. This color, unfortunately, I'm running out of it. I've just got 2 of them left, 2.5. And unfortunately, the place which have this the color doily, they just haven't had it yet. COVID and all the restrictions of shipping, they haven't been able to get this color. And I love this color because it's difference between, it's an in-between color between this bright pink and this muted pink, and this is more a salmon type of pink. So I really do love this color. So I really hope I'll get it soon. So this is number 2. Third favorite thing is I love alpha stickers. The reason why I love alpha stickers is because I'm not a big stamper. Maybe the reason why I'm not a big stamper, especially when it comes to alpha letters, is because I can't find any good quality alpha stamps here in South Africa. Maybe in Cape Town, I don't know what's happening up there in Gauteng. If anybody knows where I can get a good quality alpha stamp, that would be good. So I prefer, especially if I do a title in my Bible or my sermon notes, to use alpha stickers. They're also not very easy to get come by in South Africa, but there is a few. So whenever I see an alpha sort of foam letters or stickers or whatever, I always grab it. So I always try to have it in my stash because it's so useful to use for the reason because I'm not a big stamper. My fourth thing is my Distress Oxide inks and Distress ink. This is just 3 I have. I don't have a big collection. Yet again, they're difficult to come by in South Africa. They're very expensive. But I know they last a long time. It's just difficult to come by. So when I see one and I have the budget, I usually pick it up. I try to have sort of colors in the certain ranges. Like I'm like pinks. I've got more pinks. I've got one yellow. I'm not very into yellow, but yellow is obviously a very useful color to have. And then I've got a few blues. And yeah, so I really like my Tim Holtz Ranger Distress Oxide or Distressed ink. I think it gives beautiful backgrounds. The qualities is good to have in my stash. So I really enjoy having them in my stash. The next thing I love is stencils. I think it creates such a fun background effect. This is a go-to stencil also, sort of an offer stencil which I can do stenciling in. This is background stenciling. So I love using stencils as background layers. I think they're so useful, and it's relatively a sort of a cheap way of creating a mixed media background. So this is definitely one of my favorites, is stencils too. Then a good washi tape. I don't often use this washi tape as much as I want to, but I do love washi tape, and I do use it for accent pieces, sort of putting it sort of on a journaling card to look like it's been tucked away for washi tape. What I do like about washi tape is I like sort of washi tape with polka dots or grit on it. That is probably my favorite. This just a type of washi tape which you can use for anything. It doesn't really stand out. It just gives a little bit of an accent. Obviously, a black and white grit washi tape. I've got one somewhere here that is my ultimate favorite. They're also not so easy to come by, but you can get them. So if I see them and I like it, I pick it up immediately because I don't know when I will ever find the opportunity to get it again. Then another favorite is something like beautiful flowers. They're harder to come by. So when I see a pretty washi tape of flowers, or this one's got little hearts in, This is also a nice basic. So yeah, any pink, blue washi tape, my colors is pink and blues, pastel colors, I try to pick it up. So yeah, washi tape is definitely one of my favorites. Then one of my other favorites is my watercoloring. As I said, this is the Manguo, which I don't know how to pronounce. This is a good quality water paint. I've started with not such good quality ones, just sort of basic ones. But as I said, I've been collecting them and they are definitely vibrant. They stand out. I love them. So I think if you've got just any watercoloring in your Bible journaling stash, to me, that is really one of my favorites, one of my go-tos. Watercoloring is easy, doesn't bleed through, it looks pretty. You don't have to do it perfectly. You can do a black outline flower and you can just sort of messily put the watercoloring over it, so it gives this sort of very soft, easy looking flower. So this is definitely also one of my favorites. Then I love to use ribbons or materials or anything. I love to make little journaling cards, pop a little ribbon on there, take it from my sewing machine, ruffle it up, and then you have sort of interesting texture, especially if you've got a sort of a Bible which you don't mind putting texture in. That's very nice to do. So I've got 3 of these little containers with different ribbons in, sort of try to keep to a color scheme. It doesn't always work. They all get mixed up sometimes. But yeah, I love having ribbon or material in my Bible journaling. I think it gives it a nice soft look. So this is definitely also one of my favorites. Another thing I like, which you might find strange, is paper clips. I prefer the smaller paper clips. This is 28 millimeters, but I even prefer them smaller. I prefer them sometimes 25 millimeters. But I've been struggling to get the smaller ones lately. So I love these little colors. I love to pop it in if I do a journaling card or in my Bible, just to pop it on there for a little bit of texture. It just creates an interesting look. It's something cheap. It doesn't bring lots of bulk to your Bible. And I love the pastel colors. It goes with all the Bible journaling entries. So that is really one of my favorites I like to use in my Bible journaling. Now, another thing I like to use in my Bible journaling is things like textures, like nice sort of, I like to layer something. So if I have a journaling card and I want to put maybe tissue paper behind it, then I can use some of these tissue paper. I can use a serviette or even the decoupage. And then I love, this is actually sort of my little sort of cluster basket. Then I love these little white pockets, which is almost what I like more. I can put my journaling cards in there, put something behind it to create clusters. So this little box with all the little white pockets, and then it's got these small little envelopes and things like that. I love to use that in my Bible journaling to create layers. So I often reach for this very unorganized container just to create layers and interest and something different in my Bible journaling. So I hope you enjoyed this video, my 10 most useful and basic things for Bible journaling and my 10 favorite things I do use in my Bible. So as I said, it would be fun to know what you think is useful, what you enjoy, what you think it's the most basic and necessary thing in your Bible journaling. I'd love to hear from you. I hope it was helpful. I love this type of videos, so I thought it would be fun to make it. Thanks very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you feel like it, like, and yeah, and you must have a fantastic day. God bless. Bye-bye.